renovating and design, and I think that helps a lot, and I want to help my clients the best I can, and I feel like that's something that I can give to them.
When they're getting into real estate, should I become a wholesaler? Should I become a realtor? Should I become an investor? Or how do I become an investor?
Couple did good, a couple not so good. And I'm like, you know what? We need to take a break. And so we stopped for a couple years.
Hey guys, this is John Luka, and I am so excited today to have a great guest, a friend of mine, who is a top producing, investor friendly, a wife and a mother. Is it 3, right?
3 kiddos.
3 amazing kids, and they actually also help me in my business.
They do. That's
And
right.
so
They do.
I'm here with Andrea, and before we go into our video for today, our podcast for today, please, if you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you turn on the notification button and follow us on all the social media platforms. And so I am excited for this one because Andrea is a special guest and she has added so much value to our business. And so, Andrea, welcome, and thank you for sharing your knowledge here with us. And hopefully, this benefits our audience in a big way. So,
happy to be here.
Amen.
Yeah, happy to be
Amen to that. So, Andrea, going back a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe you can introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah.
Who you are, where you're coming from as before starting real estate and this whole thing. Obviously, I've kind of known you a little bit before that.
Yeah, it's been about a decade that we've known each other. So my name is Andrea McKay. I was born and raised in Maine. I'm a true Mainer. I went to school in Maine all throughout local high schools. I went to New York for college. I went to a Bible college for 2 years.
I actually knew a little bit of that.
You did? Yeah. So in the Adirondacks.
Yeah.
So I did that for 2 years, and then afterwards I did a missionary internship. So I went overseas for another 2 years.
Where?
Mexico and the Dominican Republic.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a blast. I loved it.
Wow.
So I did some work over there. And then when that was done, came back home, married my wonderful husband.
Nice.
And
For
then
those who don't know, Nick is one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing guy, and that's how me and Andrea actually met.
Because before Nick started building, he was working with you.
Yeah.
In the warehouse.
Yes.
And that's how you guys met. And of course, the first time I met you, you came to the first flip we ever bought and helped us with our roof.
And I actually helped with the roof.
Yes.
And it was a tough one, actually.
It was. Yeah.
But Nick was, he's a go-getter. And so he would tell me, hey, let's go, let's do it. And I never knew that I was getting into this side of business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the very beginning. That was when he transitioned from leaving the warehouse and started to become a general contractor. So then we started kind of switching our career paths. And then we started having our kiddos, and we have 3 kids now, and still here in Maine full time. And yeah.
Wow. It's an amazing journey though. So 12 years, I met you before you had your kids.
That's right.
And then I actually missed your wedding though.
You did. I still hold a grudge. I'm still mad about that.
But hey, we're making it up now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's good. It's
we see each other on a weekly basis now.
So it's good.
Yeah, it's fine.
And Andrea, well, from all the values that you've added us, I'm so glad that we reconnected. Actually, my partner happens to have come across you, and then we ended up finding each other at the property.
It was just happenstance. It was divine intervention because he found me through Zillow, just randomly from a recent sale.
Yeah.
And then him and I started working together a little bit. And then, like you said, we just randomly met at a property with you.
Yeah. And I'm like, is that her? And we kicked it off from there, and we started working again together.
Yeah.
And so that's amazing. So before the school, after the schooling and everything, what were you doing for a job, like a regular job?
So I studied early childhood development.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it was just what I was comfortable with. It was what I knew. I had, babysat kids growing up and helped in kids, children's church, and it was just what I was comfortable with. So that's what I pursued, and I got a bachelor's degree in that and continued on and got my teaching certification. So around the time that Nick and I got married, I started teaching in the local schools. And that's what I did for about 3 years.
Hmm.
I worked in the Lewiston School Department.
Wow.
And it was great. It was taxing, but it
Yeah.
was great. I love working with kids.
Hmm.
But I knew that when I got pregnant, I wanted to stay home with my kids.
Wow.
Um, so when I got pregnant with our first child, I quit and I stayed home. And, a couple years in, I'm like, I don't really know if I want to go back to teaching.
Hmm.
Um, the school department had changed a lot. And I started thinking, all right, well, we were already doing flips at that time,
Hmm.
but we were using another realtor
Hmm.
and someone from our church. And I said, well, why don't I just get my license? Can't be that hard.
Yeah.
And so I had a 3-year-old and 18-month-old twins, and I went to get my real estate
Jeez.
license. Yeah,
Wow.
and that's kind of what started things.
And how? Well, first, I want to actually I want to congratulate you today
Yeah.
officially. I think you've been a top realtor.
Mm.
What I saw today on Facebook.
Yes, top producer.
So we're talking about from getting started and today being a top realtor, and
Yeah.
actually maybe twice or three times this year so
Yeah.
far.
Twice so far this year. Yeah.
Wow, so that's a
Yeah.
long way.
It's a long
Well,
way. Yeah, when I was doing it very part-time, like, I would just take a deal from a friend.
mm-hmm.
So I was closing maybe, like, 5 deals a year,
Mm,
because I was home with my babies, and that was my priority.
yeah.
But then, they went back to school
Mm-hmm.
and, um, decided, "Hey, let's just jump into this full
Full
force," and so
time.
that's what I did, and
Yeah.
now I went from 5 properties a year to 5 a month.
Jeez,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Top producer, guys. Well, make sure that make sure that you work with Andrea, if you
Appreciate that.
can. It's amazing to see you go from somebody who is a teacher to
Mhm.
being a top realtor, an
Thank you.
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's such a different. I mean, you talk to me about going from different studies of engineering and criminal justice and all of
Yeah.
that to being an entrepreneur. That's a
Right.
whole different path for me, I
It
think.
yeah, it is. Well, I was surprised to hear that FBI and all the things that you had changed from. So I think it's just finding what you wanna do and what works for you and
Mm,
and your family and the lifestyle that you want.
yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So, how do you go from just being a realtor
Mhm.
and to being a investor-friendly realtor?
Yeah. It's a
That's
wh
what I want to hear about
yeah.
because there are realtors and then there is investor-friendly realtors. And I
Mhm.
always tell people that if somebody brings a property to me, realtors, and I do agents outreach, obviously, to get more off-market deals and things like that.
Mhm.
And you happen to be one of the people that are so good at that. And not only that, but there's so many different resources that you provide as investor-friendly realtors. So
Mhm.
tell me, how did that come about?
Yeah. I think it just kind of naturally came about because my background and my husband's background.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned earlier, my husband is a general contractor. He's
Yeah.
done that for 10 years. He is a genius when it comes to building and remodeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's kind of what started my background.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I love the design aspect of things. I found that I kind of naturally had a knack for that.
Yeah.
And so then combine that with getting my real estate license.
Mm-hmm.
I think clients found that I already had a knowledge somewhat of construction,
Mm-hmm.
of remodeling, of what a general project could potentially cost.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a whole different world than just like stepping in and showing a home and doing comps.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is a whole different world.
Mm.
So I just feel like I have that added layer in there to help clients specifically who are investing
Mm.
kind of along their journey.
So you kind of venture into this niche.
Mhm.
Yes, you actually do still just list properties as well.
Mhm. Absolutely.
And obviously you still do great in that part, but you
Mhm.
have something else that's special. And that special thing is that you have the extra edge when it comes to the knowledge of real estate investing and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And we as investors really appreciate that. The
Mm.
fact that I can come in the house and I can say, okay, Andrea, what do you think about this? Well, a lot of realtors
Yeah.
rely on us
Yeah.
to bring the end product.
Mhm.
And then as a friendly investor friendly realtor, you come in and be able to actually go in with the investors and see the
Mm.
property and actually the whole 9 yard,
Yeah.
even to the color,
Yeah.
which color we should paint. And we have a lot of
No
crazy
yellow
stories
walls,
about
right?
whereby I had to go and start asking you for questions on, hey, which color do you think we should paint this house?
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but there's times where I have spent times at the paint store looking at which color should I go with.
Mhm.
And so we really appreciate that part.
Yeah, I think it's just fun too, and it's like it's beyond the business aspect of
Mm-hmm.
it, and I feel like we, are able to just have that relationship and kind
Mm-hmm.
of bounce ideas off each other, and when you do continual projects, you have ideas from previous projects
Mm-hmm.
and you're able to work together and come to a conclusion.
So would you say that that is what sets you apart from all the other different realtors?
Yeah, I just think I have the ability to add, some extra knowledge if you truly are investing or fixing and flipping or even buying and holding, or maybe you're just someone who's looking to buy your forever home and you want to do some renovations on it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have the, experience with, renovating and design
Mm-hmm.
and I think that helps a lot and I want to help my clients the best I can and I feel like that's something that I can give to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think beyond that, also, I appreciate the fact that you always are in the lookout for
Mhm.
off-market deals
Yeah.
and you get to work with wholesalers, and
Yeah.
a lot of realtors actually run away from like investors peoples,
Yeah, I think
right?
investors can get a bad rep, you know?
Yeah.
I think some are, like you said, they're scared of them or
Mm-hmm.
they don't wanna work with them or they think they're all out
Mm-hmm.
to, pinch pennies or
Mm-hmm.
rip someone off, and that's not the case. I
Mm-hmm.
work with, like yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and many others, just great investors who care about their product,
Mm-hmm.
who wanna improve neighborhoods,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I think it's great.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
we're glad that you see that side of
I do. I do.
things. Besides saying that, hey, this is an investor and they're
Yeah.
gonna come and take up,
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that you have that. Well, you kind of have to have that because you also yourself are an investor.
Right.
And so you started with the new builds.
Yeah, so we started with, flips. We
Hmm.
would do, like, one at a time,
Was it like
um,
renovation flips or new builds?
renovations.
Okay.
So renovations we started with, and at the time, my knowledge was very limited.
Mm-hmm.
So we were looking at properties just on the MLS,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're looking at properties just on the MLS, A, you're getting a lot of competition,
Mm-hmm.
and B, you're squeezing a lot of the equity out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So our margins were very slim when we were doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and after the first handful, we're like, "Oh, maybe this isn't worth all the, stress and headache," and so then we got into new builds.
What kind of profit margins were you doing on market?
On market?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Like when you started.
yeah, there was one that we, like, broke even on, one of
Wow.
our first ones,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was a couple more that we just made, like, 20K on.
Mm-hmm.
There was one that we made a good profit on, but generally speaking and averaging what we were doing, we weren't losing money, but we weren't making enough where we felt like it was worth our time.
Mm-hmm.
We both had other jobs,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, so then we kind of merged out of that and we're like, well, let's do spec homes. And spec
Mm.
homes are, building from the ground up
Yeah.
at cost because Nick was a contractor,
Mm-hmm.
and then just reselling on the market.
Yeah.
Um, and we did a couple of those. A couple did good, a couple not so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you know what? We need to take a break. And
Mm.
so we stopped for a couple years.
What do you think the biggest challenge was? Because I'm also learning because
Yeah.
I'm questioning you because I also want to make sure because I'm getting into spec
Mm-hmm.
homes and things like that.
Yeah.
You are kind of, you know, my mentor when it gets to that. And Nick also, well, Nick, as we spoke about, he also worked a lot closer with us
Yeah.
and doing a lot of the stuff that we have no clue about.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's amazing. But what was your biggest challenge with doing spec homes? And why do you think your margins were not so great?
Yeah, I think it really comes down to upfront what you're getting the property for. And
Mm-hmm.
because we were still finding things in land like on the MLS,
Mm-hmm.
the margin upfront was already tight. And then when you're doing new builds, if you're getting contractors who you're paying a general contractor, your cost is going to go up
Mm-hmm.
because you're paying a general contractor to babysit all of your other
Mm-hmm.
subcontractors. And so there's a big markup on that.
Mm.
And you need to account for that when you go to relist it.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Mm. So you were kind of breaking even.
Yeah, we were kind of breaking even. We even lost some money on one of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's kind of when I said we decided to be like, hey, like let's take a step back. That's when I really decided to just focus on my clientele
Mm-hmm.
instead of investing.
Okay.
And that truly, like those relationships and seeing what you guys do
Mm-hmm.
helped me a lot. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, like what what should I be looking for?
Mm.
Where should I be looking for it? How can I adjust these margins? It doesn't have to be absolutely new build perfect.
Mm.
Um,
And I think that
and
was the biggest challenge as well.
yeah,
You're doing every flip as
yeah,
a new build,
everything. Yeah,
and you're not getting the offers
yeah.
that you would want as a new build.
Right, because you have to ask for more.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make a really good product for somebody and offer that to them
Mm-hmm.
and not do every single tiny little thing,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, meeting you guys and seeing how you built your business model and how
Mm.
you guys were doing it has helped me immensely. And on my latest one, we decided to get back into it. We're like, all right, let's give it another go.
Let's talk about that one.
Yeah.
You know, what is what helped you, I would say, from us working together? What has helped you maybe make bigger margins? What are numbers? Was it negotiating?
Mhm,
Was it the offers that you made that was accepted?
mhm.
What do you think was that made a big difference from the flips that you were doing versus the flips that you just did?
Yeah.
How many days did you close?
We should close last week.
Jeez.
Last week.
Yeah.
So it's fresh.
How many months did it take you to do that?
4 months.
4 months.
Yeah, from the time we closed when we bought it to selling it.
And how much would you say that you made in 4 months time?
So we made about 70K profit
Wow.
in 4 months.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is more than some doctors get
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah. I do not have the education of a doctor, so I consider myself pretty blessed.
That is amazing though.
Yeah.
Wow. And so it's a big shift. And so
Mhm.
I think maybe you can talk about the things you did
Yeah.
that was different from your previous. Obviously, maybe it wasn't like as a spec. You
Mm.
kind of had a little bit of different. Maybe your offers were a little lower than what
Mhm.
you would usually do
Mhm.
for offers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a mixture of things. I think kind of talking about the offer side of it, I think when you're offering on a property that's on the MLS,
Mm-hmm.
you know that there's 3, 4 other people, other investors offering on that same property.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an anxiousness behind of I have to make my offer the best. And if I don't, I'm going to lose out on this property.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned before it was hard for me to be I don't want to lose out on this, right?
Yeah.
But I've learned that it's okay to lose out on it and there's 10 other houses.
Mm.
And if the numbers don't match, it's okay that they don't match.
Wow.
Um, so that I think that's the biggest thing.
And I love to hear that
Yeah.
because this is an issue, right? So many people are so desperate for deals,
Mhm.
but not realize that not every deal is a deal just because you want to make it a deal. You're not
Right.
supposed to make deals that are not deals.
Yeah.
You're supposed to find deals, not make deals that are not deals.
Mhm.
And so some people would go high and try to make this, not realizing that when you actually get done with the product itself and it goes in the market and the
Yeah.
market talks and you don't get what you want, then you
Mhm.
find that actually it's not a deal.
Right.
But some people find that out 4 months later.
Yeah. And
And
I that was my thinking before,
mm,
which is why I think our margins didn't work out well. I
yeah,
was scared I was going to lose the deal.
yeah,
Um, but there's always going to be more deals that you can find.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. She actually, that was fantastic. There's not a lot of people that can make 70K profits on market properties.
It was off market.
It was actually, if was it off market or was it listed?
Topsum
Yeah.
was off market.
Hmm.
Mhm.
But still,
But yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is like big.
Mhm.
And the fact that maybe you didn't have to spend money on marketing,
Yeah.
that's even more greater because so many people invest so much money to try to find deals, whether you're doing cold calling, all of these different sources of marketing. But for you to be able to get that and be able to make that 4 months, and 4 months while you're killing a lot of other, you're
Yeah.
doing great other
Yeah.
listings and showings.
Yeah.
While you're doing all of that, you add the fix and flip on top of that.
Yeah.
And so not a lot of realtors can say that they're doing that.
It was a lot. It was a lot, but that's another big thing that I learned, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll touch on that was another big difference from before versus now
Mm-hmm.
is being able to say I don't have to do everything.
Mm.
Just because my husband's a contractor and we know how to do everything, we can take a step back and we can hire it out and we can go be busy doing other things.
Mm.
Um, because, as a general contractor, he was paying his guys a pretty penny to do the renovations.
Mm.
Um, and another thing that I've so luckily learned from you is being able to find contractors who are willing to do the work
Mm-hmm.
and who are, you know, good at what they do, but also decently priced.
Yeah.
Because a lot of contractors are really expensive.
Yeah.
So just finding the right contractors that work and fit within your budget and your margins
Mm-hmm.
was another big thing that helped out.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that really add on to
Yeah.
like making your profit higher. And those contractors are also very happy because
Mm-hmm.
they also get opportunities that are
Yeah.
given to them.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you are in price where you say, okay, I'm okay with paying them this much and
Yeah.
paying this group this much.
Yeah.
And so that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So did you had any challenge with that one? I actually didn't talk to you about any
Any challenges?
challenges on that one.
Um, let's see, some challenges. I mean, we had some challenges on the renovation process.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
It was longer than we anticipated just because we ran into some family medical things.
Mm-hmm.
So it took us probably, I would say, about 30 days or 30 days longer than it should have.
Mm-hmm.
So then you add in some holding costs there that we hadn't planned for.
Yeah.
But once it was on market, the sale itself was a little rocky.
Mm-hmm.
It was contingent on another home sale, and
Mm-hmm.
that one ended up having some issues, and it's like a domino effect. So
So it hits
that
back.
got extended.
Yeah.
More holding costs that we didn't account for.
Yeah.
I would say that was the biggest challenge, which
Mm-hmm.
can happen with any sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty normal.
Yeah.
That one, I think, well, this was a really walk in a park
It kind of was. I'm
kind of flip.
scared for the next one.
Because I feel like every flip that I ever do,
Yeah.
like just when you think like you face the worst, right?
Yeah.
You have another challenge. But it's good. It's learning lessons.
Yeah.
You get to learn about a different challenge. Oh, maybe I should have. Oh, maybe next time I do it this way. And so it's all part of the journey.
Mhm.
And so that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what are some challenges that you face as a realtor, you know, versus being a investor? Do you think those challenges are tougher, or do you think as being an investor is a little bit tougher?
Um, I would say like working with investors can be a little bit more like work on site just because
Mm-hmm.
of the services that I offer.
Mm-hmm.
Like not every realtor is, going um with a potential seller to the house that they're looking to buy
Mm-hmm.
and helping them envision the space
Mm-hmm.
beforehand.
Yeah.
Um Even as a realtor who works with investors, I don't think a lot of realtors would do that.
Mm.
But for me it's like I know that I'm putting this on the market after, so why wouldn't I want to help you,
Mm-hmm.
make the extra trip out,
Yeah.
um, and just get the best product
Mm-hmm.
for the market. And we have, like I said, we have a good relationship, and I don't mind doing those, extra trips and extra CMAs to help you find what the ARV will be.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little more challenging in that way, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's rewarding as well. You see it on the other side of
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
So you kind of get a little bit of preview of how this property is gonna turn out,
Yeah.
versus you get there already, it's already kind of what it
It's
is,
already
and you
painted
go,
yellow
yeah.
and
Well,
Yeah.
I don't paint yellow anymore
I
since
know. Yeah.
since you started advising me on some of those stuff, and which is I also appreciate it.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't mean to paint that house yellow. It was supposed to be a house that was like the color when we picked it out, it didn't look yellow.
I know. It always looks different in the store.
That's the thing.
Always.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But I think now I've learned from you that hey, you can pick a color that is so different,
Yeah.
and it can actually. I've learned a lot from colors and designs
Mhm.
and things like that, and so, which is something that I really enjoy working with you. Now I'm also kind of so used to like, okay, we have a property. Okay, this one is a little bit. Oh, maybe I should get Andrea's
Yeah.
advice on it.
Yeah, and it
So
all depends on, like, the flooring you pick too
yeah,
and making sure it all flows together
yeah,
because a lot of people don't realize, but and even people like, buyers don't even realize that it, like, subconsciously, when
yeah,
they walk into a property, how colors affect them and how the
mm,
space affects them.
yeah.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, the the thing I didn't ask you is, why are you doing all of this?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, you made 70K. Obviously, you're gonna go do another flips
Yeah.
and do your thing, but why are you putting all the time, the effort,
Mhm.
the grind? What's your reason?
Yeah.
There's so many people that become an entrepreneur or they become a realtor, but then the next day you don't see them anymore.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
what drives you? What makes you, a top realtor?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the biggest thing is my family,
Mm,
and just being able to live the life that we wanna live in
mm-hmm.
the time. I think, like, what you're saying, like, when you say grind and hustle, like, that's true, like, we have to do that, but for me, it allows me to do it in spurts of time where I can also go pick up my kids from school
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have to miss the activities or I can take a weekend away and take my laptop with me and still answer calls
Mm-hmm.
and still do work when I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it allows me to be there for that and allows us to be able to live comfortably obviously too
Yeah.
and give to others and it allows for the lifestyle where I could be present.
Mm-hmm.
I think like you said so many entrepreneurs are like let's hustle, let's grind, let's work, you
Mm-hmm.
know, 12-hour days, and for me, that's just not something that I want.
Mm-hmm.
Real estate can be that, entrepreneurship can be that if you want it to be,
Mm-hmm.
um, but that's just not for me, and the way that I've set up and the way that I just feel like it I've been blessed with the clientele that I've been blessed with
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do work with a lot of sellers, it just allows me to set up my time blocks
Mm-hmm.
where I can be present and I can still be the wife and the mom that's
Mm,
not gone at showings all the time and,
yeah.
so that's really why I do it.
So you design your life
Yeah.
and the way how you want it as an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
being a realtor,
Yeah.
being able to have time and freedom so you
Mhm.
can actually do. Would you say that you would be able to do that if you were still working your teaching jobs? And
No, if I was teaching, you wake up first thing in the morning, you get to school, you don't leave till I mean, your earliest you're leaving is 3 o'clock,
mm-hmm.
and then by the time you get home, maybe you're grading papers and you're bringing stuff home, and then they say teachers get summers off, but you're still working on your classroom and preparing, and
Mm-hmm.
so this allows me to um, work from home
Mm-hmm.
or go work at a cafe or
Mm-hmm.
bring my laptop and work at my daughter's dance class.
Yeah.
It allows me, like you were saying, the freedom
Mm-hmm.
to kind of do that.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing is that what I love that you're able to do that is that even though you are like, well, Nick had a construction business
Mhm.
before he got really sick, and the fact that you can actually carry that financial burden part of it,
Mm,
I think it would have been really, like
yeah.
tough to be able to do it without having real estate income, whether
Yeah.
it's fix and flips or realtors with those
Yeah.
those commissions that would be able to come in and support. So
Yeah.
that makes a big difference, wouldn't you?
It's huge. I
Yeah,
mean, obviously, I say my main reason is my family, but obviously we work to get money, right?
yeah,
And that also is a huge motivating factor. It allows me, like you said, to carry it when I need to carry it. It allows us to, take the vacations if we want a vacation,
hmm
or, just it allows us to, like I said, to live the life that we want to live. And honestly, I probably work the same amount of hours, if not less, and
hmm
make triple, quadruple the money.
hmm
It's a lifestyle that that works
Yeah.
and feel
Wow.
blessed to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that you're able to make a little bit more of a difference in your family and the people around you,
Hmm.
versus just the work that you used to do,
Hmm.
and how much you can contribute to people around you?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's different. I think you can obviously affect people's lives no matter where you are.
Mhm.
Whether you're in the classroom, obviously, lots of teachers have great impacts on their students.
Mhm.
I had some students that I loved dearly.
Yeah.
Um, and I was able to, help them in the way that I could while I was there.
Mhm.
Real estate allows me to help different people, clients, and like helping my clients achieve financial freedom for
Mhm.
their families.
Yeah.
So I'm just helping, different families in different ways,
Mm. Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. It's gonna come to my very favorite uh, question.
Okay.
How did you develop this kind of mindset to be able to have a go-getter's mentality,
Mm.
being able to become an entrepreneur from being a school teacher
Yeah.
to, I mean, going to Bible schools
Yeah.
and doing social work to totally like, okay, this was Andrea and now this is Andrea.
Yeah.
How was the your mind transformation? Was it books that you read? Was it
Mhm.
people that you came across with? What was the change? What was the shift that took
That's a
place?
great question. I think it's probably a mixture. I think it naturally merged into that based on my skill set and what I feel like I've been blessed with as far as, talents and working with people. Um, I think the biggest thing that I've seen would probably be like the people that I've met.
Mm-hmm.
You are a huge, contributor to that.
Mm-hmm.
Watching your success and your mindset and being able to take that, being able to take, little pieces here and there from different people that I admire who are just doing great, and whether it be real estate, whether it be investing, kind of watching what they're doing and being
Mm-hmm.
like, that really works for them. Let's try
Mm-hmm.
that out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you're mentoring teams and you
Yeah.
have, well, now you're not the only one hustling.
Yeah.
You're building a team. What does the team look like now? How is it allowing you more time?
Yeah. So, this past year, I got to the point where I was so busy that I hired a transaction coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
She's phenomenal. I say she's my brain.
Yeah.
She keeps everything organized and she's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So having her, she was really the first one that I brought up when I started producing more.
Mm-hmm.
Decided to hire her. And so she was the first one that I brought on.
Mm-hmm.
Really helped free up a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
It allowed me to be able to be on site more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, just continue doing what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And then I had an agent sign on. She's phenomenal. She's so motivated.
Mm-hmm.
Just had a mentorship with her today.
Yeah.
She's working her butt off and she's doing so good.
Mm.
And then obviously your wife is looking
Yeah.
to move
So
that way.
she's gonna come and share that one day.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have
Oh,
all of
good.
you guys
That would be
in the
amazing.
office one and
Yeah.
in another podcast
Yeah.
setting as well. But you're mentoring a lot of people.
Hmm.
You're touching lives in the different areas, and you're helping new people that are upcoming realtors.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that they're also gonna look at things from your perspective and
Yeah.
say, hey, maybe be more of a investor friendly, or at least have
Hmm.
some kind of your characteristics and be able
Yeah.
to put that into our community. And I call it our community because whether you're an agent, whatever, I, so many people are struggling. When they're getting into real estate, should I become a wholesaler? Should I become
Hmm.
a realtor? Should I become an investor? Or how do I become an investor? And so I call it a community of real estate
Yeah.
because we are all under one umbrella, and that is
Yeah.
real estate.
Yeah.
Whether you're doing the sales part or you're doing the fix and flip part,
Hmm.
whatever, whether you're doing the construction part,
Yeah.
we are all one big team and we have one end goal is to make our community better and people around us better
Yeah.
and grow as people. And obviously, we do it to make money as well.
Hmm.
And so I love our community and I love what you're contributing
Yeah.
to our community because of that.
Yeah. I love that you're saying like it truly is a team. Like I feel like
Mm.
in real estate, especially like I don't know if it's as much this way with investors,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes with agents, I feel like it can be like, it's me against you.
Yeah.
No, it's not me against you.
Hmm.
It's let's help each other. There's more than enough real estate to
Yeah.
go around.
Yeah.
So if I can help you succeed, I know that I'm going to see you on the top.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's about. Because once you build those relationships and you want to see other people
Hmm.
succeed and you want to see other people be top producers and you
Hmm.
want to see other people start investing in real estate, um, everyone benefits.
Yeah.
Everyone benefits.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Andrea, it is such a blessing to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
And before we go, where can people find you? Whether they're looking to become a realtor and
Yeah.
become an investor-friendly realtor, whether they are looking to list their house,
Hmm.
they're looking for a top agent, where can people find you?
Where can they find me? Well, my office is right in Auburn. I work with Hearth and Key Realty, right in Auburn,
Hmm.
Maine. Um, my phone number and all my information. My handle on Instagram is MckayHomes207.
Hmm.
So feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to help you.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
Well, Andrea, again, I can't thank you enough, but this has been an inspirational,
yeah,
great educational, and great information sharing.
hmm,
And so thank you so much for coming,
yeah,
and thank you for all that you do,
yeah,
well, personally for the real estate world and personally for me and
absolutely.
our team. And so it's such a pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much, everybody.
yeah.
God bless you.